At this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter open session, closed session.
So moved.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. At this time, I'd ask for each of you to certify whereas the Carroll County Board of Supervisors conveyed a closed session this date pursuant to an informative recorded vote and on the motion to close the meeting in accordance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, whereas Section 2.2-3711 A1, A6, and A8 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Board of Supervisors that such closed session was conducted in conformity of Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Carroll County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed session to which the certification applies, and only such business matters as were identified in the motion by this closed session was conveyed, were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting to which the certification applies. I'll start the certification with Mr. Early,
Also certified.
Mr. Hill,
I so certify.
Mr. Collins,
I so certify.
Mr. McCraw,
I so certify.
Mr. Dixon,
I so certify.
and I so certify. At this time, I'd ask if Mr. Collins would lead us in the invocation and pledge.
Father, thank you for this opportunity to be looking at the business of the county. We pray that you give us wisdom, guidance, and direction as we do the work. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to
To
the
the flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first on the agenda, we have a couple of retirement recognition to present, and at this time, I'd ask if Mr. Woods would step forward, please. Or Terry then. Terry.
He's been called a lot of things over the years.
And the retirement award presented to Terry Woods, Animal Control Officer, 34 years, for your dedication and outstanding service and loyalty and friendship to Carroll County. And with that being said, if you would meet me at 9 o'clock in the morning at Mr. Kemp's office, and we'll present you with your handgun that has been taken care of, and will be yours, and I'll meet you there at 9.
Yep.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Terry.
And next is Michael Combs.
He's not here.
He's not here? Okay, I'll read this. Retirement award presented to Michael Combs, Deputy, 29 years, for his dedication and outstanding service and loyalty to friendship to Carroll County. So I think both these gentlemen need a big round of applause.
Absolutely.
All right, next on the agenda is Twin County Regional Hospital. We have a presentation. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I do want to take this opportunity to thank you all for giving us a few minutes to present ourselves. My name is Sudhana Ratnaswamy. I'm the new CEO for Twin County Regional Hospital there. And I moved all the way from Florida. So far, it's been lovely here, great community. People are so friendly. Communities really want us to be the best hospital for the community. So that's what really attracts me here. And I didn't want to make a huge presentation, so I put some some slides here just to share with you guys what we are and what we are up to and what we really want, how we want to partner with the community. Having worked in healthcare field since '85, I've been in leadership role for almost 30 plus years now. And I do have a strong nursing background. I got into administration, so it's just combining um, a variety of experience in Florida helped me to move here with Duke Lifeline Hospital. And there's one slide here. This is talking about as hospital, what our community impact. So that's where we really want to just focus on. Just so then a few more slides to talk about what we do there. If you really look at that, we have made, obviously being here, 1.4 million in capital improvements in our hospital. Of course, the payroll system, it's almost 27.5 million to the community. That speaks volume. It goes right to the community here. And also our hospital, our system did donate 6.4 million in service to those in need. And of course, taxes also goes back to the community and the state. And I have list of board of trustees who serves as our board of trustees, who does a phenomenal job. We have monthly meeting reporting our quality outcomes and those kind of things. Going back to our hospital, we are Joint Commission accredited, and we also chest pain accredited, and we have stroke program and also cardiac rehab accredited, and quality-wise, again, phenomenal quality metrics. Obviously, perception is the reality. So when I came here as a new leader, as I was connecting with the communities, I heard, what their perception. So perception takes time for us to change. So we've been doing some of the strong work there in our hospital to let the community know that we are doing things for the better quality, better perception, and those kind of things, their experience. And we also started putting our ER wait time. ER is our front door for everybody. And obviously, we had issues in the past, like we did not have specialties. Attracting the right physician is a challenge to the little, rural, remote place. So worked really hard to close the gap. And like a cardiology and nephrology, neurology, those are the basic things. Hiring a doctor, any physician is not a simple thing. It takes really, once you hire, first of all, you have to find the right person. Once you hire, get them on board, it takes almost 3 months. Getting their Virginia license and credentialing with Medicare and other, managed care and those kind of things, it takes time. So next year in 2024, we are closing a lot of gaps, all those 3 basic things. The reason we want to do that, we want to be here for the local community so they don't need to be traveling hour or plus, those kind of things. So we want to do that. The next thing, also I wanted to add some of the things. Even though we are called LifePoint, obviously we are here for the local community. We are aligned with the Duke partnership, mainly to focus on our quality, some of the innovations, the support that way to get the physician education and to bring the better quality and care for the patients. The last thing is, I really wanted to bring this to you guys, and we also opened a place in Curtis Bollett Medical Complex where we have all the rehab. So we have just the PT, OT, speech, and also orthopedic rehab, and also we have a cardiac rehab. So we put that in one building so people can go to the one building. We have almost 9 clinics all over the place. We have an urgent care, family medicine, urology, cardiology. So all those things all around the place, we have it. My goal is to be here in the community, partner with the community members, employers, and be their hospital, not just for the employees and for the local community also. So we work very closely with them. And thank you as members here and government official and you guys, and thank you for your support for all the things that you guys do for our local hospital.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a public hearing for proposed site agreement. And Mr. Durbin, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think everyone can hear me now. As you stated, we do have a public hearing. I'll make a few introductory comments, and I believe the company is here as well. Would like to make a presentation as part of the public hearing process, but just sort of by way of introduction, what you have before you is a proposed siting agreement for the development of a solar energy, photovoltaic solar energy project in the county. These siting agreements come from some relatively recent legislation that was passed by the General Assembly in 2020 and 2021, I believe. They adopted these changes to the code to allow for the approval of these agreements to govern the operation, decommissioning, and some revenue to the locality as part of these renewable energy developments. The idea behind the statutory changes is to promote the development of renewable energy in Virginia while protecting localities who might understandably have some concerns about something that, at least to Carroll County, would be a fairly new development, and in a lot of Virginia would be relatively new. Before the approval of these, for the adoption of these solar siting statutes, the only tools the locality could use to regulate them was through the zoning process, particularly the special use permit process or conditional zoning process. And while these tools could help address some of the possible concerns and effects of solar development, it does little to help the locality recognize financial benefits as part of these kinds of developments. Traditional zoning strictly controls the receipt of revenues that a locality can receive as part of a special use or conditional zoning process, and that's not the case with the solar siting agreement. Under the proposed agreement, it allows you to lock in the benefits and protections you get through the zoning approval process, but also lock in a revenue stream to the county over and above traditional tax on machinery and tools and real estate. The current proposed agreement contains a site plan which governs the layout of the project with access roads, vegetation, vegetated buffers or screening, fencing of the site, maximum height of the photovoltaic panels, lighting of the site, maintenance, safety and decommissioning, including a requirement that the applicant post a bond with the county and regularly review and update the amount of that bond to ensure that there are finances available for decommissioning the project at its end of life. It also calls for payments to the county of either the annual state revenue share amount of $1,400 per megawatt or the machinery and tools tax if that's higher. And in this case, for a project of this size, the machinery and tools tax would be expected to be the higher, more beneficial amount in all likelihood, but it gives you that flexibility to have the higher option. Additionally, it does call for voluntary payments to the county of $150,000, which can be used for projects in keeping with the county's capital improvement program. The purpose of this public hearing is to solicit public input, but once you've heard from the public on the public hearing, it would be before the board to take action if you all are so inclined. And that's all the comments I have, Mr. Chairman. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to address them, but
I don't think so. I'll open the public hearing at 7:18. These are only citizen time sign up. Okay. I apologize, but the sign-in sheet is missing and I don't have one in front of me, so I'll open it to the floor. Are you wanting to speak?
She's gonna do,
You're with,
River Trail.
okay.
River Chelsea.
So, yeah, so we'll open the public hearing at 7:18. There is a 3-minute time limit to speak.
Can I present first, or would you like the public to speak first?
I would rather open it to the public, I guess, yeah. So is anybody in the public here to speak? Well, okay. Sir, you have 3 minutes. Okay,
I'll make it quick.
all right.
Clayton Wright from Fancy Gap. I don't see a problem with solar energy. It's been around many years, and it is apparently safe. I know they have a lifespan, but I have not seen any or heard anything about problems, when they reach their end of their lifespan. And we all complain, every year in the winter, electric bills. Well, the sun, so far, sunshine is free as of right now. Of course, Appalachian Power, could tax that later. But I think it's a go, and I believe we should support it. That's it.
Thank you for your time. Does anybody else choose to speak? All right, I'll open the floor to you.
Thank you. Would I be able to speak a little bit longer?
Yeah.
I promise to say under 10 minutes. Is that okay?
I would consider this a presentation, Mr. Chairman, and allow them to.
Okay, so can we close the public hearing and just let her have a presentation then? 'Cause
Yeah, I think that's. a
if
good
I'm
way to
limiting citizens to 3 minutes, then,
proceed. I would suggest going that way.
all right. So at this time, I'll close the public hearing at 7:20.
Thank you. So my name is Dominika Sink. I'm Senior Director of Development with Energix. I have a few colleagues here with me tonight. So we have our attorney with Gentry Locke, Scott Foster, and we have 3 engineers with Energix. So we have Mark, Donovan, and Jack. They will be able to answer any detailed questions that you all have. We gave presentation in the past, so knowing that we'll have public, I kept some of that old content, but we also wanted to provide you with an update on the project, so we have a little bit more of new information in the presentation. So just quick repetition, Energix, headquartered in Arlington, Virginia. We're part of a global energy group with operations in Israel, operations in Poland. We're the long-term owner of our projects, so we originate, develop, build, own, and operate. We will be selling the power to the grid for this project. We have over 90 employees across Virginia. We've invested over $1 billion in American energy infrastructure. We currently have 240 megawatts operational in Virginia. For comparison, this project is 20 megawatts, and we have extensive pipeline of projects coming in the near future. Here's just a quick map of our operational projects. So we have projects anywhere from Appomattox, Buckingham, Chesapeake, Prince William, really covering the entire Commonwealth. So quickly about this project, located north of State Route 58, we're working on a parcel owned by a Vinoy family. The project is proposed to be developed on a parcel. The total acreage of their parcel is 373 acres. Our limits of disturbance, so limits within of the site where we're going to have construction activities, 170 acres, 90 acres associated with the solar equipment. So the rest of that acreage is used for setbacks, preservation areas, stormwater management facilities. This is a very quick glance at the site plan. I know it's a little bit hard to see. I just wanted to point out, as we've been designing this project and we've been working on the siting agreement, we want to make sure that we shield the site from view. So the closest point to Hebron Road is over 1,000 feet. The closest point to any residential dwelling is more than 500 feet away from the equipment. So the project is far from residential dwellings, roads. We have existing vegetation. We'll be adding vegetation in certain locations, and partially topography is screening the project. As for status, this project is really advanced. We've done a lot of permitting and due diligence. So permits that we've already obtained for this site, DEQ permit called PBR, permit by rule. That's a permit through which we delineate wetlands, threatened endangered species, historical cultural resources, and we work with DCR, DHR, and DEQ, bless you.
Thank you.
To make sure that all those resources are protected. So that permit is in hand. We've also worked with the county and DEQ on the erosion sediment control and the stormwater permits. So those are already secured. So the site plan that you've seen is based on those the design already being approved by DEQ. We've applied for the permit with Army Corps of Engineers for our wetland impacts that will be mainly for access, and we've obtained a land disturbance permit. So the only permit ahead of us, we have this hearing tonight, and then after that, should this permit be approved, we would be still working with the county to receive our building permit, and we're anticipating to apply for that in January of next year. And again, this project is fairly developed. Usually when we go through this stage, it's more conceptual. So I did want to bring a few details forward as we've been working over the last few weeks, trying to make sure we get our procurement. I know last time I was here, I mentioned that we've partnered with First Solar, American solar panel manufacturer. Since then, we've also signed a few more contracts and are negotiating a few more. So other American manufacturing companies, other American companies are participating in this project. So Southwire is providing cabling. They're based in Georgia, family owned since 1950s. Nearly 1 in 2 new homes in the US contains that type of equipment. Shoals, headquartered in Tennessee, around for over 26 years, also providing equipment for this project. And we're in the final negotiations with Nevados, also an American manufacturer of racking. And so there's also other equipment, but I'm not allowed to disclose that as negotiations are not complete. But vast majority of the equipment is sourced from the US or from American companies. Just briefly about the panels that we use. Over 2 decades, they've been in manufacturing and in use across the US. Half of utility scale solar uses this technology. It's safe. It's been confirmed by over 50 researchers across the globe. Nearest to here, Virginia Tech, their Coal and Energy Research Center. They concluded that this technology poses little to no risk to environment or human health. This technology also passes Environmental Protection Agency's testing for toxic leaching, which means it passes it. It means it's not toxic. It doesn't leach. It's a safe product. It's been around for decades. Over 250 million solar panels from this company has been deployed worldwide with no issues. One additional thing, this company has a recycling program. In the last few weeks, we've made an announcement. We've signed extensive procurement agreement with First Solar to make sure that the panels we procure come from their US manufacturing facilities. Outside of Perrysburg, Ohio, they're adding facilities in Louisiana and Alabama. And that agreement also committed us to recycling panels through their recycling program. So the panels will not end up in the county landfill at the end of useful lifetime. And just briefly, I hope I'm not going to repeat a lot of the information. We're proposing the siding agreement. We proposed several voluntary conditions. So we've been working over the last few months, making sure we provide all the necessary provisions to make sure that the county knows how the project's being developed and what happens with it throughout lifetime. So one important feature is the decommissioning plan. Our engineering team will provide that, and based on that, we will have a cost of decommissioning that will be updated every 5 years to ensure that we're keeping this current. That's pretty much the reversal process of construction. And to ensure that the site is decommissioned, should something happen to Energix, should we go out of business, we will have a surety bond posted with the county. We've done that in several localities across Virginia to date. So again, how the process of decommissioning will work: within 12 months after cessation of power, decommissioning will start. We will carry out the decommissioning. If we're not around, the surety can be used to cover the cost of decommissioning, and the county can use these funds to cover the cost of decommissioning. Another provision, we'll make sure that we address visual impacts. As mentioned, we made sure that the project is far from roads or residential dwellings, and we have provisions there that allow us to plant additional vegetation to provide additional screening and to avoid glint or glare. The technology that we use has anti-glare, anti-reflective coating. A little bit more about the ENS. So we follow DEQ standards. Just like any type of construction, we have to go through erosion sediment control, stormwater management practices. So we use typical measures: silt fences, diversion ditches, sediment basins, soil stabilization methods as temporary seeding, hay or mulch, and retention ponds. We've also gone above and beyond and implemented additional practices, as it is a really big swath of land we're working with. That's what usually differentiates us from typical construction. We're working on a much larger scale. So we have some additional features in our design, and our engineers will be happy to elaborate on what we're providing to ensure that the site remains within compliance and erosion and sediment control are managed properly. As mentioned, one additional provision through siding agreement, we're able to contribute additional funds to the community. So we wanted to provide $150,000 to the county's budget that can be applied to any project the county chooses. The timing of that would be once our building permit is approved, then we would have 3 months to make that contribution. And just a brief comparison, the anticipated lifetime of the project is 35 years. Should this land remain in its current use, that land would generate over $200,000 over 35 years to the county's budget. With the solar site, through revenue share or machinery and tools tax and increased real estate taxes, that would be 19 times as much. So over the same lifespan, that will be approximately $3.9 million. And the first year, because we're providing that additional upfront payment, that will be 49 times. So as opposed to a little less than $600,000, it will be $291,000 that will be generated to the county's budget. So just to summarize, we really hope that River Trail Solar will be a good addition to the community, good addition to the county through increased taxes. We're providing, we're prioritizing local jobs. We're utilizing majority American-made equipment. Projects of this type don't really generate noise, long-term traffic. They don't put strain on county infrastructure. So this is really a net benefit to the county. We're making sure we take all the care to not be a nuisance to the neighbors, providing additional screening, and decommissioning will be also addressed through the siting agreement, including the surety for decommissioning. So I'm happy to answer any questions, or we have our team here.
Anybody on the board have any questions? All right. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is citizens' time, and have 3 signed up. Judy Farmer?
Do we need to make a motion? Approve it or anything?
Good evening.
Yes, it's right on here.
I'm Judy Farmer, and I was appointed last year to the newly formed task force for the litter task force. First of all, I want to thank you for appointing me and appointing a task force for the problem that we are having in the county with litter. Since our creation, the task force has defined 4 goals, which were presented to the board at an earlier meeting, I believe, last year. Gerald Goad presented our 4 goals. The first goal was adopt a highway. We have worked with VDOT to get the program information updated, and we continue to work with VDOT to try to revamp that program. The second goal is community outreach. We handed out bags with pencils and stickers and information about the recycling change at the landfill at the National Night Out. I also handed out candy with bags with pencils and stuff at Hillsville Safe Halloween. I recently applied for 6 recycle bins to go into our schools. This was through a contest, for lack of a better word, through the Keep Virginia Clean. And we were awarded those 6 bins, and they will be delivered to Ronald Newman. And we will be getting those out to the schools, as well as going into the schools and teaching them how to use those recycle bins properly. The third goal was law enforcement. Justin Taylor has reported that he has 6 people who have been, from day reporting, that have been picking up trash in the community. The last goal is the convenience sites. We are requesting a clear direction from this board in which way we should research and focus on. As you know, we have looked at door-to-door for the whole county. We've also looked at convenience sites. So but we would like some clear direction as to how you think that we should proceed with this goal. Lastly, we need the board to replace the people who have resigned, and those people being Ben Boyette, Margaret Gardner, and Trefina Horsley. May I continue?
You can. Yeah.
As you all know, we cannot conduct business without a quorum. Without having those people replaced, we don't have a quorum. Also, the county sheriff's office has 2 men that are supposed to be coming, and they have not been able to because they are having to do their jobs as police officers, so they have not been able to come. And furthermore, we have a chairman that has not been to but 1 meeting since he was reelected as chairman or reappointed as chairman in February this year. That's not acceptable, and we need him replaced as well. And that is all I have for you, but I wanted to make sure I'm going to start coming to these meetings and updating you with what's going on. I am the secretary for the Carroll County Litter Task Force, and I will keep you updated as to what we're doing. I feel that we have been successful in some things and not so successful in others. And we want to make sure that we're doing what you appointed us to do, and that is to clean up this county. Any questions on that?
During citizens' time, Ms. Farmer, we don't really, we just take the information that's given.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that you don't have to come during citizens' time. You can reach out to us and be on the agenda to come and do a presentation at any time.
Okay,
Okay, don't feel that you got to do it just at citizen time.
okay,
Yeah, that's a board that we formed, and we want that feedback.
okay.
And I think Crystal Mike can possibly get some stuff out there for us. The task force to replace some of the ones that have resigned.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Janice Krotz?
Good evening. I'm Janice Krotz from the Fancy Gap District. Excuse me. Just getting over pneumonia, so bear with me, okay? But I was appointed to the litter task force a couple of months ago for the Fancy Gap District. And one of the problems that I see is with the litter being thrown out. This is a multifaceted problem that we are facing. So we're going to do one thing at a time. And what I'm asking the board tonight is to consider putting one of those large green boxes or dumpsters at Arcana Recycling Center, Arcana, whatever you call it. Because we need, right now, the garbage has to be put, everything in a bag. And we have to pay per bag. Well, there's lots of things that cannot be put in a bag. And so we cannot dump it. Now, I myself, I do not dump on the side of the road, but a lot of people do. I have a lot of land, and it's dumped. I have TVs dumped. I have tires dumped, and if you have land anywhere out, you know what I'm talking about. We would just request that you consider putting one of those large dumpsters there that we can put trash in, like, say, a broken chair, a TV, whatever, that we can take there in the neighborhood. So that's my request, just consider that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron Lemon?
Well, as staff support to the task force, I do echo what these two ladies have said. And Mr. Early, we do have Jeff Garrison with us tonight, if you want to make that move tonight. But what I'm here to talk to you about is some of our youth. If you follow on Facebook, you know that we have the top middle school agriculture program in the nation. We've just went through the recreation park Sandlot football, and it was wonderful. Appreciate Mr. Hill directing that. One of my grandsons participated in that, and all the children had fun. Ezra just finished with the soccer, and they all had a great time with that. We have another group, the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts Pack 810, on October 20th and 21st, attended Camp Powhatan, Troutoree, and Hiwassee. And they are based out of Colson Church, Woodlawn. And you all are aware of the flag retirement box we have downstairs. They participated and were joined with some other scouts from other states in retiring about 30 flags from that box that came down from down there. We have about 52 more to do. They are looking at a possibility of doing another ceremony following the Veterans Day Parade Saturday. They're watching the weather to look to see, if it's looking like it's going to be windy or dry or whatnot, but we should be able to make the public aware of if that's going to happen or not. And speaking of veterans, I know we have two on our board that I'm aware of, Mr. Early, Mr. Hill. I sincerely appreciate your service, and I encourage everybody to come at 2 o'clock Saturday and support our veterans for our Veterans Day Parade, because without them, we wouldn't be standing here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I entertain a motion to approve the October 2nd, October 19th minutes as presented. We can do them A or and B, or A and B both together, whichever the board so desires.
I make a motion we approve both.
All right. Have a motion to approve the October 2nd, 2023 and October 19th, 2023 meetings together. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the voting with Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next on the agenda is consent calendar. I entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
So move.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next on the agenda is the invoices, payment of invoices. We can do them 10/16/2023, 10/18/2023, and 11/6/2023. If the board wants to do them all at once as presented, or we can break them out, whatever the board's desire is.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve them as presented.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the voting with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Abstain.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, next on the agenda is under new business, the VACO voting credentials letter. I think Mr. Early and Mr. Watson are going. Do we need to vote on that?
Yes, just
Okay.
appoint one of us to the,
Okay.
to have voting credentials.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve Mr. Early and Mr. Watson as voting members at VACO.
So move.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. I'll start the voting with Mr. Early,
Abstain.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Hill.
Yes.
Mr. McCraw.
Yes.
Mr. Dixon.
Yes.
And I vote yes. The holiday memo, I'll entertain a motion to approve it. Do you want to read it, Mike?
I can. What I'm requesting from the board is the governor of Virginia has provided an additional 1/2 day off for state employees on Wednesday, November the 22nd. That is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. While the county's holiday policy provides for county employees to receive extra holidays provided by the governor, I'm requesting the appreciation for their service. County employees receive the full day as a holiday on November 22nd rather than a half a day.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve this memo?
So move.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll start the vote with Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, under old business committee appointments, I think the only one we have open is the Wired Road. Is that correct, Crystal? Okay.
Could we also point to the litter task force? We
I
have
think so. Is that, just to refresh my memory, that's not been a board that we've interviewed, correct?
No.
Okay. Yes, sir, then we can. Yes.
Okay. We're not interviewing, is that what you said?
We don't interview for that.
Okay. I'd like to nominate Mr. Jeff Garrison
Okay.
to the litter task force.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Are there any other committee appointments the board wants to take action on right now? All right. Next is board member comments. I'll start with Mr. Dixon.
Okay, I'd like to take this time and make a couple motions, if that's okay, Mr. Chairman.
That'd be fine. I'll grant you the floor for that.
All right, first motion I'd like to make is to go ahead and approve the proposed siting agreement from Interjex for the solar energy project.
All right. I have a motion to approve the project. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. McCrall,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. I'll grant you the floor back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion I'd like to make is for us to transfer $50,000 from the county CIP fund to the Carroll PSA to use for another round of free water connections.
Okay, do we want to go through the EDA with that in your motion? Because the grants will have to go, yeah.
Okay,
Is that correct? We'll have to go through the EDA, yes.
okay.
So your motion will be to give $50,000 moved to the EDA?
50,000 to the, let me, yeah,
Okay, all right,
I rescind that motion.
all right. Rescinded.
Seconded. Then you can just change your motion.
Okay, change the motion to transfer 50,000 to the EDA to be used for the Carroll PSA for free water connections.
Is that water and sewer or just water?
Yes, do water and sewer. Be
Okay.
fine.
All right. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. I'll grant you the floor again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is my last motion. I'd like to make a motion to transfer to the Carroll County School Board a total of $1 million over the next 2 years to fund the new football high school bleachers at the high school, Carroll County. I request $800,000 come from the school CIP fund and $200,000 from the county CIP.
Okay. Over a 2-year period?
Yes,
All right.
this budget year, next budget year.
All right. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I would second that, but I need to read something on that before we
sir.
discuss it.
Yes, sir.
With funding concerning Carroll County School Board, I have a position of employment with the Carroll County School Board as a bus driver. With regard to the proposed funding of the school board, the proposed funding would affect the entire school system generally, not myself individually. And as a consequence, I am a member of a group of 3 or more individuals who are employed with the Carroll County School Board and similarly affected by the decision of the proposed funding. Therefore, in this situation, the exception to the Virginia State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act, Virginia Code 2.2-3112B1 applies to this situation. In compliance with that section, I hereby declare that I am able to participate in this discussion and voting on this topic fairly, objectively, and in the public interest.
All right. So I have a motion and a second. Are there any discussion?
The intent of the motion was to provide the funding up to $1 million for the replacement of the bleachers and $100,000 to the CIP each year in order to do other projects as
The intent, we're taking,
I'm sorry, I keep
I think,
okay, the county is coming, we're putting $200,000 toward this project
from our CIP.
from our CIP fund, $800,000 from the school CIP fund, from this year's CIP and next year's CIP, from the $538,000 we give them each year for CIP.
And let me ask this, Mr. Durbin. Do we need to rescind that motion to say that we're giving an additional $200,000 to CIP for this project? Because realistically, next year's budget's not been approved.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's what we're trying to make sure that we understand. The intention,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is that the county will be allocating
$200,000.
$200,000 total,
Mhm.
$100,000 in this budget year,
And 100 next.
in the next year.
And then our motion doesn't really have to have using theirs, correct? Yeah, let's do it that way.
What way?
Just the 200, that we're going to appropriate 200,000 as our CIP money.
200,000, okay.
So you have a
And then I guess we would need to vote for them to be allowed to use their 400,000 CIP for this year. Can we, Michael have that, he can do that, correct? It's real tricky.
Yes, that's the reason why I'm trying.
Yeah, and it never hit me till you mentioned that we haven't approved their budget for next year, so the money's not there.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Correct?
Yeah, so, no, the money's not been budgeted for a future year, so
Right.
notwithstanding this motion, you could change the budget and override the motion.
Right.
So right now, I think we might want to clarify the motion.
Okay.
Um,
With what intent, I think you laid it pretty clear, you know.
Well, how about this? I'll take that motion back and make a motion that we
All
give
right.
a
Can I
meeting.
get you to rescind your second, Mr. Collins?
Yes, I
Okay.
rescind.
I'll make a motion that we give $1 million to the Carroll County School Board over the next 2 years, budget year, that'll be this year and next year. We'll be taking some from the school CIP and the rest will come from the county CIP,
Okay, so
for a total of $1 million.
so $100,000 would be coming in this budget year from the county, and you'd be directing staff to prepare a budget in accordance with the motion to provide the additional funding in the next budget year?
Yes.
Is that the intention?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I think what I would, to kind of clarify it, I would recommend that the board just go ahead and vote to disapprove the motion that's on the table,
Okay,
and then make a new motion.
okay.
Because right now, you've got a motion that's been made and seconded to provide on Mr. Dixon's original motion.
But they rescinded that second and first. So we need to
that would-
vote to.
I hate to go through the gymnastics. Another way to do it would be just a motion to amend the prior motion, and that would require a second and a vote. Then you would have an amended motion to then vote on.
Okay,
But I think because we're dealing with real money,
right,
I think we should probably take those additional steps. So
okay,
rather than withdrawing your motion and your second, which is,
all right. So I'll open the floor to vote on the first motion. Mr. Early?
Is that what you wanted
actually, like what I would recommend at this point is a motion
to amend?
to amend.
Okay,
I will make a motion to amend Mr. Dixon's original motion.
all right. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
And that amendment would be to provide, and correct me if I'm wrong, but again, to provide $100,000 to the Carroll County Schools for the project in this budget year, and to direct staff to prepare a budget to provide an additional $100,000 in the next budget year.
Right.
Correct.
I would make that motion and delete any mention of $1 million,
Okay,
because that's going to come out of their capital improvement money over 2 years.
correct.
So the amended motion, before it's seconded, the amended motion is to provide funding in the amount of $100,000 to Carroll County Schools for the project in this budget year,
Over 2 fiscal years.
and to direct staff to prepare a budget to provide the additional $100,000 in the next budget year.
Right.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And I'll open the floor back up to you, Mr. Dixon.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
what you have now is you've amended the motion, now you need to approve that motion.
okay. I'll open the floor for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Dixon again.
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, Mr. Dixon, I'll open the floor back up to you for board member comment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank everyone that came tonight. It's good to have you out. The ladies from Litter Task Force, we appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for the update. Terry Woods of known you for a long time and want to miss you and hope you enjoy your retirement. You've done a great job for the county, and we appreciate it. And Interjects, look forward to working with you all on this project. Welcome you to Carroll County, and hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving. That's all I've got.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Hill?
Yeah, I'm happy to have Interjects, the solar farm, which can't do anything but help us in our energy issues that we have. And also congratulate Mr. Combs and Mr. Woods. I know you've not been called that all the time, but you know what you've gone through. Hope you enjoy your retirement. You will be working harder than you did before. And thank everybody for coming in, and thanks to the litter task force. A lot of that goes around, and it comes down to personal choice. You throw the litter out, or you put it in a recycle bin, or put it in the landfill. That's your choices. And that's all I've got to say.
All right. Mr. Early?
I'd like to first thank Pastor Garrison for volunteering to be on the Litter Task Force. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad you're on it. I will just reiterate that the Litter Task Force needs people that will participate, and they have put a lot of time and effort into this so far, and sometimes I get some feedback from some members that perhaps this board hasn't taken any action on some of their recommendations, and I'd like to see some actions being taken. And sometimes things are being done in the background and you don't know that it's being done, like perhaps the door-to-door service, countywide pickup. I know we've had discussions with GFL about that. I will also say that recycling, I have recycled every opportunity I've ever had, but my personal experience with recycling since it moved from the regional landfill over to L&M or whoever the recycling folks are over there, it's taken a huge step backwards. The bins are not large enough. You can't get anything in the doors. You have to load it through the side. And I would ask Mike and his staff to look into that and try to provide adequate facilities over there for people to recycle, because it is not adequate. The cardboard container is about the size of that desk right there, and it fills up, and I've been told it's emptied 4 times a day, but first people that get there in the morning and it's stuffed full, you don't have any place to put your cardboard. So please see if we can't get something better than what we've got right now, because it's not working. I do think that people on the committee, on the task force that aren't showing up should be replaced, so perhaps we as board members can look at replacing folks that we've appointed that are not attending. Terry, again, congratulations on your retirement. You've been a wonderful employee. I know you deserve retirement. I hope you enjoy it, every minute of it. Ronald, thank you for your comments about veterans. Let's all remember veterans. Like he said, we would not be sitting here today without those people that have stood up, and some gave all for the freedoms that we are able to enjoy every day. So please remember all veterans. And again, thank you to the staff and to Mr. Durbin for all the hard work they do, and I hope everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving.
Mr. Collins?
Yeah, just to reiterate what everybody else has said, Terry, congratulations on your retirement. I know it's one of those jobs that doesn't always get a thank you. It's hard sometimes to do. You were helpful to me through the years a couple of times, and I just appreciate the hard work that you've done. I'm glad that you're able to enjoy retirement now. That's one of the things. I hate that Mike Combs didn't get to be with us. Mike's just a wonderful guy. Miss seeing him at the middle school. He's done a great job with our kids. Appreciate that so much. With the Litter Task Force, I would echo everything that Mr. Early just said, and add to that, come and give us updates and give us those challenges of things that we need to do. And I'd also agree that we need to replace those people who aren't showing up. Some can't for whatever reason, but we need to put people on there who can. And I just appreciate the work that you're doing, because I have seen it make an impact.
All right. Mr. McCraw?
Just like to once again thank Terry. I know he's looking forward to retirement. Maybe Monique won't have too many honeydew things for you. So everybody tells me that you get busier when you retire. So, and I do appreciate the Litter Task Force for what they're doing, and it's a thankless job. As with a lot of our other committees that we have out there, we don't thank the people that serve on those committees enough. And they deserve that appreciation for taking the time to serve on them. You all have some good plans, and I look forward to seeing them come to fruition. Look really excited about Energix coming and for the opportunity that we have there for this community, and just thank y'all for that opportunity. I do want to thank the veterans, all the veterans that are on this board or in this room, and thank you for your service and your ability and your willingness to defend us and defend our rights, and all those that have went on before us that have died defending those rights. And I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and hope everybody has a good week. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. We do ask everybody to still remember Tracy's daughter, Tiff. She needs our prayers, and so does the family. So.
Thank you for that. Big shoes to fill. Everybody's covered everything. The only thing I can throw out there that's not been mentioned is everybody enjoy their right and go vote tomorrow. You know. Other than that, thank the veterans, thank staff for all they do. Thank the ladies with the task force and Mr. Newman for coming and speaking tonight. Like I say, it's an open door. We're in this together. Unfortunately, I got a email with the Pine Creek representative resigning this week, so we'll look for somebody to replace in my district on that board. And other than that, thank everybody for all they do. Thank this board for stepping in while I've been gone.
In the business, and anytime you've been there long enough to retire, you absolutely deserve it. And I'm glad he has the opportunity to. Also, I'd like to just thank the board for giving us additional time off. I know the employees will enjoy it.
Next, county attorney comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think you probably heard me speak enough tonight, so I'll keep it brief. Appreciate everyone bearing with me on those procedural issues. It can get a little complicated when we get into the minutia of Robert's rules, but appreciate your patience in making sure we get it right. I'll also just congratulate Terry on his retirement. Best wishes to you, and of course, thank you to the veterans.
That's one good thing about being the chairman. You can always have a last talk, and I didn't even thank you, Mr. Woods, for your service, but I have numerous times, and I have done your job whenever I was an employee with the county, and it's not the job that myself or a lot of people are cut out for, but you made it happen for 34 years, and I greatly appreciate that. And see you in the morning. We've got to finish up one more piece of business that you deserve, and with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
All right, have a motion to have a second? All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start voting. Mr. Early? Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
And I vote yes.